Let's move on to the next question. The function f is defined by this, okay, from 0, ax is from 0 to 360, where a and b are positive values. Good to know. The maximum value of f of x is 10, and the minimum value of is -2. So we have to use that information to find the value of a and b. So step by step, we know that f of x is equal to a minus b cos of x. Now, the only thing changing in this equation is obviously cos of x, because a and b are constants. Now, we know that between the values of x is between 0 and 360, cos of x can take the value of -1 and 1. Now, we have to check. So we know that the maximum value is 10. When is f of x maximum? That will be a minus b times -1. So that will be a minus become plus b have to be 10. That is my first equation. Next one, obviously, we know the minimum value have to be -2. That happens when a minus b times 1. That will be the value of -2. So we have a minus b will be -2. Equation number 2. So let's solve one by one. A will be 10 minus b, and here we have a will be -2 plus b. Replace, you have on one side 10 minus b will be -2 plus b. We can send this over here, that becomes 2b, and that will be 12. So b will be the value of 6, which means a will have to be -2 plus 6, that will be the value of 4. Okay, that will be part 1 of the question. Okay, so one thing I think I would like to explain as well is that, because it could be confusing, right, when we have a minus b cos of x. Now, the maximum value of cos x is 1, and so this is the max, and the minimum value of cos of x is equal to -1. Now, we know the function is maximum. When does that happen? So, because here we have minus, we would say a, when you minus the minimum value, that will give you the maximum value. And here we have a as well. When you have to minus the maximum value, that will give you the minimum value. Again, that was used in part 1 to find the answer. I hope that makes sense, because this is kind of important to understand how we derive those two in part 1. Now for part 2, solve the equation this equal to 0. So let's find out. So right now we have a is the value of 4 minus 6 cos x, that will be 0. 6 cos x will be the value of 4. Cos x will be the value of 2 over 3. Since cos is a positive value, will be in the first quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant, that will be x will be cos inverse of 2 over 3, right? That should be 48.2. That will be 360 minus 48.2. That will be 311.8. So these will be the two values of x that we have for that equation. Now for the last question, we have to sketch the graph of y equal to f of x. Pretty easy as always. We would go back to making a table of values. Y equal to f of x is 4 minus 6 cos x. That will be my x value and my y values. I begin with 0. And the interval here will be 90, because here we have 1. 90 divided by 1, that will be 90. So here we're 90, 180, 270, and 360. So first thing first, we have 4 minus 6 cos 0. That should be -2. Cos 90, that should be 4. Cos 180, that should be 10. 270, that should be 4 as well. And then 360, that should be -2. Okay, so here we have our table of values. We can sketch the graph pretty easily. For example, that will be a y value and your x values. 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360. That will be minus 2 over here, and here we have the value of 10. And let's say 4 is somewhere over here. Right, 4 is somewhere over here. So it is only a sketch, doesn't need to be exact, right? We just need to have the shape of the curve. So 0 minus 2 will be right here, 94. Should be somewhere over here, then we have here. And finally, we have this over here. Again, of course, you will try your best to make it bigger and better than this, because I'm just sketching this one as quickly as I can. However, you will take your time to make them as smooth as possible. As you can see, that will be somewhat the shape of your curve. You have to label that as y equal to f of x. And you will be using a pencil, obviously. And that will be the question part 3, where you have to sketch the graph.